Hello, my name is Barbara Leland, and I'm a certified holistic health coach in Huntington Beach, and I do the healthy eating classes here at Hoag Cancer Center. And today we're going to talk about to cleanse or not to cleanse. That is the question. So why do we hear so much talk about detox and cleanse and detox, especially around this time, especially in the spring? There's so much chatter. And reasons are that we might be looking for a cleanse is we might be feeling sluggish, bloated, we get sick all the time, tired, reaching for coffee, can't even make it to the cup, or we might have gained weight. A lot of times people want to do a cleanse because they think it's a diet, sort of, and that'll make them lose weight. So these are all really good reasons to feel like you might want to do a cleanse or a detox. And then we hear results of other people. They're saying, it's great. I lost 10 pounds. I feel great. I'm euphoric. And then also we are a product of marketing. So cleansing and detoxing is a big business. And so you'll get lots and lots of ads from your favorite health food stores about this cleanse or this detox or how you need it. So marketing is huge on cleansing and detoxing. But are they the same? Not really. A cleanse is to clean out your digestive system when it has become congested. And a detox takes each organ and detoxes that organ specifically. So there are specific detoxifications for each organ of your body. So they're not really the same, but the words are used quite often interchangeably. So what are these toxins that we're talking about? Toxins are anything that can be poisonous or cause negative health effects. So those items are what we put in, on, and around our bodies. So I think that we know about the junk food and the drinking. Medications can be toxic in our system. And beauty products are huge. Our skin is one of our largest organs, and we put things on our body that have toxins in them. Soaps or lotions or eyeshadows or lipsticks. It's not just for women, men too. Shaving cream, other lotions and soaps and fragrances. These things can be toxic, and we're putting it on our largest organ. And then cleaning products where we have a lot of chemicals involved, and those are all being absorbed through the skin and absorbed through the breathing. So cleaning products are a big one. And then we have air pollution. So we're putting all these things are bombarding us, and so these are toxins that are coming into our system. Some of them we can control, and some of them we don't have quite as much control over. But don't worry, because your body is designed to do a regular detoxing or cleansing on a regular basis. It's continuously cleansing. So the process is that the toxins come in through your lungs, your skin, or your gut, which is where we were just talking about. The lungs, we're inhaling the pollution, we're inhaling the cleaning products. The skin, we're putting our beauty products on our body. And the gut, we're ingesting toxins. They all come in to our system and go through our liver. That's where it gets processed, where the liver processes all the toxins that come in and then sends them out, neutralizes them, sends them out through the skin, through the kidneys, colon, and lungs, okay? So, however, if there's too many toxins, they get stored. And one of the places they get stored, which we're going to talk about, is fat cells for processing later, but also in the bone marrow. The liver is what creates the storage for the fat cells. And, that all is a process that can affect our health. So your joints, your blood, tissues, your muscles, inflammation, diabetes, many things get exacerbated by toxins or even caused by toxins. So, but if our bodies take care of this, how do the toxins build up? So let's take a look at our digestive system. If your pipes aren't clear, if you have a clogged drain, your garbage disposal won't work, right? It doesn't matter how much you grind it, it's still not going to go through. And if your digestive system is clogged, your toxins aren't going to go through the way it should. The toxins get reabsorbed and the body tries to detox again. And it's like trying to wash your dishes in dirty water. So you're continuously detoxing or trying to detox, but it's not working. So why does our digestive system back up? Dehydration. So your stomach, the mucous membranes in your stomach are 95% water. If you're dehydrated, you won't have the acid that the stomach needs to digest the food properly. And then exercise is really important. If you don't move your body won't move the toxins. Lack of fiber. So when, our ancestors ate 100 grams of fiber per day, and they moved their body constantly, but the average American eats 15 grams. That figure might be a little higher now because there's so much plant-based this, plant-based that. There's a lot more talk about fiber, vegetables, fruits, etc. There's more attention paid to the fiber, to our foods that we're eating, which include fiber. The reason why it's important is because the fiber attaches to the bile and moves it through the system and then flushes it out of the body. But if we don't have enough fiber, there's no flushing involved. So think of some of the things you eat. Do they have fiber or do they not? Let's see, are we eating meat? Any animal products, dairy, things like that, they have no fiber. If we're eating vegetables and grains and fruits, they have fiber. So lack of fiber is something that can block up our digestive system. And then stress is also a deterrent to good digestion, because if you think about how you react to stress, you clench up, you tighten up, you grit your teeth. Everything tightens up, as well as your intestinal tract. And most of our stress is processed through the intestinal tract. So that's not going to cause for good digestion. And what happens is we are not digesting, we're also continuing to add more toxins into our system because of the way we eat or where we live or what we're doing, what we're putting on our body, etc. And then when we overload our bodies with toxins, it derails our detoxification system. So that system that's supposed to work so well doesn't work so well because we're actually working against it. So when our bodies store toxins, what happens? As we said before, the toxins get filtered by the liver. When the liver is overwhelmed, it stores toxins in fat cells to process later. This is important. It runs out of cells because it's used up all these toxins are coming in. It can't process them all, so it pushes them off into the fat cells, but there's only so many fat cells around. So in order to store more toxins, it creates more fat cells. That can be stored indefinitely. So that's important. So it's a good thing to do a detox, right? Detoxing can be very hard on the body. And when your body is already overwhelmed, when your body is already overwhelmed with toxins, those toxins get rushed to the liver. And that can be really harmful if you have an illness. Your liver is already processing that. Your liver is processing the medications you were taking for the illness. Or if you have liver disease, your liver is already working to maximum capacity. And don't forget about that dirty water in our digestive system. So the toxins don't have anywhere to go. They get reabsorbed, and then they're stored in fat cells for processing later. But why do we feel so good after we do a detox? That must mean something. Well, the toxins get pulled out of our system. So they are getting pulled out of the areas that they're being, processed in, but they creep back in because they haven't actually been flushed out. So you feel better, and then things start happening again, and then you do a detox again to get that good feeling. So you become a detox junkie. So this detox, retox, repeat is actually a thing that if people would go out drinking, and they would drink a lot, and then the next day they would go to hot yoga, and they would detox through perspiration. They would detox the alcohol from the night before so that they could go out that night and drink again without feeling horrible. So they got into this detox, retox, repeat situation with just that. And usually, that's going to apply to people who are probably in their maybe 20s or so, but it could be others. And also, that scenario is not just for drinking and then sweating and then drinking again, but it's also for detoxing, and then you aren't changing your habits. You're just doing a detox, right? It's like doing a diet. You're just doing a detox. And when your detox is over, maybe it's 5 days, maybe it's a month, maybe, who knows, however long your detox is. Usually it's not much longer than a month. You stop. And you haven't changed your habits. And so you go back to what you were doing before, and you start to feel crummy again. And so you think, oh, I need a detox. So again, you become a detox junkie. That's great for the marketing people, but it's not so great for your body. So what do? We become super digesters, and we become aware of what we're putting in our body, what we're putting around our body, and what we're putting in our body. On our body. So how? We eat, drink, and be merry. Now that sounds good, right? We all want to eat, drink, and be merry. So we're going to eat more of fruits and vegetables, such as bitter leaves, roots, and that strengthens the liver. So like arugula, beet tops, carrot tops, dandelion. Those carrot tops and beet tops that get thrown away at the market, those really are good for you. They are not trash, and hopefully they don't throw them away at the market. Hopefully they give them to farm animals or something. But those items can really be used in your food. Carrot tops, you can chop them up and put them in your salads, for example. Beet tops, you can take those, separate the stems, chop up the stems, throw them in some simmering water, not too much. And then when they've cook down a little bit till they're soft. Then you throw the beets in, the beet tops, the leafy greens, and turn off the heat because those will melt down real fast. And then add some lemon, some garlic, and some olive oil. Mix it up, and you have horta. And that's delicious. You can use other greens too. You could add other greens. You could add dandelion. You could add spinach. You could add kale. Anything, any dark leafy greens to that horta. And it's going to be delicious. But not only is it delicious, it's super good for you. So you get the beets, you bring them home, you chop off separate the beet from the leaves. And then if you're not going to cook the leaves that night, put them in water so that they stay nice and fresh. And when you're buying your beets and your carrot tops and your carrots, look at the greens. That will show you how fresh your beets are or how fresh your carrots are. You don't want to buy carrots or beets that have wilted black leaves, because that's an indication of your vegetable, right? On to artichoke and beets. Those stimulate the bile in the liver. So now we've already had the beet tops. Now you can have the beet bottom and help stimulate the bile in your liver. So you're strengthening the liver, you're stimulating the bile in your liver. You can have your beets cooked, you can have your beets raw, you can juice your beets, although there's a lot of sugar in them. I like to grate them up and have them raw in a salad more than I like them cooked. But however you like them is the way you should eat them. And then you should eat more of broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, Brussels sprouts, all the cruciferous vegetables. And those will help to stimulate your detox enzymes. So we need enzymes to keep our digestive system active And these items will help stimulate those enzymes that are actually for detoxing. Leafy greens like spinach and kale, and those help to dissolve the toxins for easier removal. Okay, so you want to eat more of those things, and also you want to eat more of fiber like we talked about before, and you'll get that in beans and nuts and seeds, whole grains, and sea vegetables. These all help to push the things through the digestive tract. Sea vegetables would be like seaweed and things like that. There was a time that we were having concern over the sea vegetables that were harvested in the Pacific because of the nuclear accident that was in Japan like 10 years ago. But I just checked recently, and it seems like that has dissipated. The radiation levels in our ocean has dissipated. So I was only buying sea vegetables from the coast of Maine. But now I will buy sea vegetables from the Pacific coast as well. So that's good. And then other things, herbs, cilantro, slippery elm, licorice, marshmallow root, milk thistle. Those all help support the digestive system. And you can get those in the form of herbs that you can put in your salad, like cilantro. Or you can get them in the form of teas or dried herbs that you can make into a tea. And those will all support the digestive system. Then ginger, cumin, coriander, fennel, and cardamom, those all turn on the digestive fires to really help energize your digestive system. And then good fats, you want to include good fats in your body, in your system, avocados and salmon, nuts. If you don't eat oil, some people don't eat oils at all, but you can eat the good fats through the avocado, salmon, and nuts. And if you do eat oils, good oils for you would be olive oil, coconut oil, and ghee. And those attach, what they do, the oils attach to the lipids in the liver, the fats in the liver, and help move them through. So a salad, for example, with oil and vinegar, the oil will increase the bile in your liver, in your liver, and it increases the digestive acid, the vinegar will. So, and then also you want to eat whole organic foods whenever possible. You want your foods to be as close to its natural state as possible, and you want to be careful about what you should eat organic, and we'll talk about that a little bit more. But these are the kind of things you want to eat more of. And you want to eat less or none of fast food. I don't think I need to say anything more about that. Fried food, which often is fast food. So a lot of oils become toxic at high heat. And not only that, the oils that you're getting in fried food, you're probably usually going to a fast food type restaurant, they are not looking for the primo oil that's going to be the best oil for you. No, they're looking for the cheapest oil that's mass produced so that they can get it at the best price to fry the foods that they're going to fry. So you need to be careful with fried foods. And you're taking in a lot of toxins, not just in the way of the toxicity at high heat, but also the toxins that are already in the oils because they're really low quality oils. You want to be careful with GMO products because they may have increased toxicity in the plants. Pesticides, you can get information on the Clean 15 and the Dirty Dozen. I know I've talked about this before. On EWG.org. EWG.org is Environmental Working Group, and they put every year they update their listing of their Dirty Dozen, which is 12 foods that have the highest pesticide load, 12 produce that have the highest pesticide load, and 15 produce items that have the lowest pesticide load. And then there's a number of foods in between. But they will give you the worst and the best. So if you're looking for foods that you have to buy organic, look at your Dirty Dozen. If you're looking for foods that you can get by with non-organic, look at your Clean 15. On the Clean 15, for example, you'll find probably watermelon, you'll find probably broccoli, they do not have a high pesticide load, which means either they're not using many pesticides to grow those items, or they don't hold on to pesticides. On the other side, the dirty dozen, you're going to find strawberries are always on the list, apples, leafy greens, things like that. You're always going to stone fruits, cherries, peaches, nectarines, things like that are always going to be on the dirty dozen. So be careful, take a look at that list. If you can't memorize it, print it and put it in your purse or your pocket for when you're shopping. Processed sugar you want to stay away from, because it not only does it cause inflammation and diabetes and all kinds of things that we don't want, it also can damage and wrinkle the skin of the inner intestinal wall. So that causes a problem with your digestion. So stay away from processed sugar. That is not your friend. And then you want to drink more of water. And you'd like your water to be pure filtered water. You don't want to put more toxins into your system when you're trying to flush them out. So the pure filtered water will help with that. Many times the water has chlorine in it. The tap water has chlorine and other large molecules that you don't want in your system. And then to really, really get rid of all of the toxins in the water, you would need to have reverse osmosis water, which takes everything out. But you just want to make sure your water is filtered and as clean as possible. Also, you could drink a big glass of water 15 to 30 minutes before your meal, and that helps to hydrate your mucous membrane, and then more acids produced, and your food will go through easier and be digested better. And then herbal teas, you want to look for the teas that have the herbs we described already to support the digestive system and the cleansing process and the detoxing process. And then green tea, that helps to strengthen your digestive system, and it helps to protect your liver, which is, poor liver is the one that's getting hit with all of this. Also, a note on teas, when you're having any kind of tea or herbs, you want to make sure that those are organic, because you do get a lot of pesticides in teas and herbs. Okay, and also nuts. I know we were talking about nuts. Nuts you want to make sure are organic as well. And grains, because of the process that they do. It's not so much how they grow the grains, it's the process that they do when they're drying the grains, that you want to make sure your grains are organic. So just right off the bat, without even looking, those things aren't even mentioned on the dirty dozen. They don't mention herbs or teas. They don't mention grains, and they don't mention nuts. The dirty dozen and the clean 15 is really just produce. Another thing you can find, by the way, on that EWG is there's a environmental working group has something called, I don't know if they still call it this, Skin So Deep, but it is a way that you can look for your products, your skin products, your household products, things like that. You can put them in the little search box under this website, under EWG, and it'll tell you if it's a good product that you don't have to worry about, or if it's something you should have some concern, and it'll tell you why. So it's really, this EWG is a great environmental working group, a great, and I have no affiliation with them, but they're just a great source or a great resource. And then you want to drink less or none of coffee, which is dehydrating, and we want to try to dehydrate, not dehydrate. Alcohol, which of course is hard on the liver, and sodas and waters with artificial flavors and sugar, which whether they're real sugars or fake sugars, they're all going to be toxic. So if I had to choose from the three of these and say don't drink any, I would say if you said just one, just give me one, I would say get the sodas and the artificially flavored waters out of your system, out of your diet. Okay, alcohol you want to be careful with, and coffee you want to be careful with, but for sure the sodas and the waters with the artificial flavors and sugar you want to get out of your system, out of your diet. and then be merry. And you're like, well, how the heck am I going to be merry when you've just taken away all my alcohol, all my sugar, everything fun? Well, no, because you can really enjoy more things that you don't even realize how much you're enjoying them until you start doing them. So exercise. Doesn't sound great to sweat, but when you sweat, you're releasing toxins through the skin. That helps your digestive system, and it helps to reduce stress as well. But you're helping your system get rid of more toxins by exercising and sweating. Also, you feel great after you finish doing it. You may not feel that great when you're doing it, but you feel great after. And then you want to walk after eating, and you don't want to run a marathon or, really try to work out at that time, but just a slow, relaxed walk that helps you to digest your food, okay? Meditating, that'll help clear your mind. It'll also help reduce stress. So these things are going to make you feel better mentally, right? Relaxing, especially when we're eating. So you don't want to eat when you're driving in traffic and you're like yelling at all the drivers. You don't want to eat when you're watching a horror movie or a crime action movie and you're sitting on the edge of your seat. You want to eat in a relaxing manner. You don't want to eat when you're arguing, right? So if you're having a dinner and someone starts to argue with you, just put up your hand and say, I'm eating. And hopefully already they know why you're saying that because you've already told them. But you want to be relaxed when you're eating because that's going to loosen all of your system so that it can digest and do the things it's supposed to do. And then sensing. What does that mean? It means sensing is where our digestion begins. So when you start to smell the food and your mouth starts to water a little bit, that's actually the process of digestion starting. So take time to appreciate your food, all the smells, the colors, and then when the food is in your mouth, then you start to taste it and you chew it. That chewing is and your taste buds is preparing your body for digesting the food. So you don't want to just gobble down your food like my dog does. But my dog's intestines are this big, and ours are, coiled around. My dog doesn't need to take the time to sense her food, but we do. So we want to eat slowly, chew our foods well, and let our digestive system be prepared for what's coming. And then what else can we do? So when we eat in time with nature, what that means is that we eat seasonally. There's a reason why certain foods are what season they come out. For example, oranges, which are great in January through June. Navel oranges, right? You can buy them other times, but really what happens is they come right when you need all of that vitamin C for fending off. When do we get sick mostly? It's in the winter, right? So that's an example. We get strawberries and tomatoes in the spring and in the summer when the oranges are starting to go away. So we're bringing in the vitamin C there. We get watermelon and juicy fruits in the summer when our bodies need more liquid, more because it's hot, we're sweating more, and you might get dehydrated. So we have more juicier fruits in the summer. So just watch nature. It's really interesting. There's a whole study on it, on eating in season, a number of studies, and so it's really interesting to see how that works. You want to avoid toxins in your environment besides food, so like we were already saying, we want to look at our air, our water, our cleaning products and our personal care products. And the air that we breathe, I'm not saying you need to rush out and spend a lot of money on an air purification system, but open your windows. Open your windows and let your house air out. Of course, unless you're living, right next to the freeway, then you might want to get a purification system. But bring in some houseplants, purify the air that you live in, And we bring so many toxins into our homes. Try to reduce that as well. Watch what you're bringing into your home. New carpets, granites, things like that. Make sure that you're not getting things that off-gas into your environment. What else should we watch out for? So, like I said, excuse me, cleansing is a big business. And we are victims of marketing. So be careful with that. Just because they have a good marketing firm doesn't mean that product is good for you. I'm not saying that everything that is marketed is not a good idea. I'm saying that it is a big business. So take that as you will. Watch out for cleansing boosters such as herbal laxatives and colonics, because if they're overused, you can get dehydrated and it can cause a dependence on those items. And if you do it on a regular basis, you may need more, either larger amounts or many more times to produce that desired effect. And then fasting. Fasting, after 24 hours, you start to lose muscle mass. After 48 hours, the body can become acidic. Diabetics shouldn't fast because then it can cause spikes in their blood sugar, spikes and drops. And, the intermittent fasting, there's some yeses and nos on that, but the no's are not like it's dangerous. So if you want to do intermittent fasting, 12 hours, 16 hours max, no problem. Just don't let it go past 24 hours. Because your body's not designed for that. We're not wolves, and we need food in our system. Okay, and then juice cleanses, and you will lose weight, and you will lose weight if you do a cleanse or a detox. You will lose weight, because think about how you were eating before the detox or cleanse, and then think about how you're eating in that period of time while you're doing it. But it's not sustainable. So same with juice cleanses. It's not sustainable. Are you going to just drink juice the rest of your life? No. And also you want to be careful of the type of juice that you have, because too much fruit juice is going to cause blood sugar spikes, especially if you're not eating other things. So you want to be careful of that, of lengthy juice cleanses. So I see that we have some questions, or a couple questions here. And must the spinach be cooked to get the benefits like iron? Yes. So, yes, iron, to get the benefit of the iron, to reduce the oxalates in the spinach, it does need to be cooked. And also, if you're looking to absorb the iron from the spinach, you want to combine that with a vitamin C of some sort. It can be oranges, it can be strawberries, it can be tomatoes, tomato sauce, whatever. But you do want to add that to your cooked spinach, or to your meal when you're having spinach. Okay? What can we use instead of processed sugar? Well, it depends on what we're looking at. So I've become a fan of dates and bananas for sweetening different things, for yogurts or oatmeals or things like that. But if you're looking for a sugar substitute, something that I think is safe is stevia. Stevia is not a bad product, but you do have to be careful not to use too much because it can taste bitter, and some people hate the taste of stevia, period. Sugar alcohols, we've had this in our sugar discussion. Sugar alcohols don't seem to have too much detriment, except for they can cause digestive issues in people who are sensitive to that. So, so when you're looking to take processed sugar out of your diet, there are other sugars that are natural sugars like honey or maple syrup that won't harm you as far as toxicity. However, do remember those are added sugars. So there's a balance here, right? There's processed sugars, there's added sugars, there's natural sugars, there's all kinds of information about sugar that comes into play. And so if you're just looking to replace processed sugar with natural sugars, honey, maple syrup, things like that will do. date sugar. If you're looking to take out all kinds of added sugars from your diet, you want to make sure you're using whole fruits to sweeten your foods, like dates, whole dates, or bananas. And if you're looking for an artificial sweetener that can help you replace the sweetness in something that, whatever, tea, cereal, things like that, stevia would work. Monk fruit, most monk fruit that's on the market has erythritol in it, so do read your labels, because erythritol is a sugar alcohol, and that can affect your digestive system. Also, is jasmine tea okay? Yeah, jasmine tea is okay. Make sure it's organic. You mentioned eating less of fried food. What about baked food? What is the difference? Well, when you're frying food, you're frying it at a high heat with a lot of oil. And when you're baking food, you can bake food without any oil whatsoever. And you're usually baking it at a lower heat than when you fry. So the difference is what happens when you fry the food is the oil becomes toxic. And like I said before, it might be already toxic to begin with, depending on the type of oil they're using. So I hope that answers the question. If it doesn't, you can type it into the chat, or you can contact me at 2life-2health@hotmail.com. And then, is it important to pair certain foods together for better digestion? Yeah, so there is a whole thing about planning your meals. I don't know if you remember Fit for Life, which was probably 30 years ago. Some of you probably weren't born. But what it is it's a way to pair foods together to help your digestion, such as you don't eat starch with protein. So you separate those things. So you can have potatoes and vegetables for dinner, but not potatoes and vegetables and fish or steak. Or you can have bread and vegetables, but not together. I mean, not with protein. You can have starch with vegetables such as rice, but again, not with protein. So you can have protein with vegetables. So all those things, and there are charts for that to show you how to food combine for ultimate digestion. So I hope that answered your question. Also, there's a discussion about not eating fruit after your meal, but eating it before your meal, so that it doesn't try to push through food that takes long. There's an amount of time that food takes to digest. Proteins take the longest. Fruits take the quickest. So the theory is if you eat a protein and that's sitting in your system trying to digest, and then you eat a piece of fruit and that's trying to push through because it takes quicker to digest, you're going to have digestive issues. You're going to have problems with your system. Okay, so I hope that answered the question. Any more questions? Okay. All right, so no more questions. So come back next week, same time, same place, and we will do a cooking demo on foods that incorporate some of the foods that we talked about today. So I'm thinking to do something for Cinco de Mayo and something along the lines of a salad that'll go along with Cinco de Mayo and help our digestive system. Okay? So thank you very much. I'll see you next week, and have a great week.